What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we are going to be looking at the Acer 4K 2K 28-inch G-SYNC gaming monitor featuring a whopping resolution of 3840 by 2160. It's got 1 millisecond response time, flickerless, and Energy Star compliant. So what I should probably do is unbox this and then let's have a look. So inside the box we have polystyrene, and then we have the monitor itself, the actual panel. Has kind of like this very nice, oh, feels so nice. Has this wrap on it. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to put this down, I'm going to take the monitor out, and then let's have a look at the bits and bobs. Alright, so here's the panel. Panel looks very nice. You can't really see from here, but it's very shiny. Nothing wrong with it. You have a manual which says do not suck in the plastic, do not chew, do not put over babies' heads. And that really does say don't put over babies' heads. And your warranty card and whatnot. Here we have the top of the stand, and here we have the bottom of the stand. What's worth pointing out is on the back of this monitor, here's my thumb. As a point of width interest, so it's about twice as wide as, about 2.5 times as wide as my thumb. So there, and then there's a half. So 2.5 times as wide as my thumb. There is a 100 by 100 Visa mount, so I will be mounting this. Here are my current 3 27-inch panels. So yes, this is going to replace the middle one. So before I put it on the Visa mount, I'm quickly going to put it on the stand, and we shall have a look and see what it looks like on the stand. What's worth noting is, round the back of the I/O panel, we have a universal kettle lead for power. We have a power on/off switch. We have one display port, and we even have a little USB hub there, USB 3 that is. So now I'm going to get the base. And the base has got very nice, it actually looks more orange in real life, although I believe this is supposed to be red. Very nice base, ooh, which rotates, and then you just kind of click that on there, and then you screw that bit in there. So let's quickly do that. Alright, so here's the monitor put together, and by the way, yes, it does rotate to portrait on the stand, so that's always nice. Rotating it back to landscape. Just 1 second, this is a little bit awkward doing it with one hand. There we go. Rotating it to portrait, to landscape, sorry. Just don't want this to fall over while I'm recording. Reveals a rather nice monitor indeed. It looks quite nice on the stand. Like I say, that stand is that little. This is supposed to be red, I believe, but it's actually more orange in real life. It does look very nice. We've got the old Ultra HD 4K 2K and the energy mark. Oh, we even get this little piece of cardboard shit plastic that needs to be peeled off. And we have the model number, which is XB280HK. So, now that I've put it on the stand, I'm going to take it off the stand again, and then I'm going to mount it on my Visa mount. One thing worth pointing out is, although the Visa mount, the stand does rotate, as I showed you before. It's completely toolless, and in order to remove it from the Visa mount, you simply push that button, and then it lifts off if you do it, but there we go. And then that just enables you to take that off. What you can see is that there are 4 screws already in place for mounting purposes. So that is next on my to-do list. Well, here's the monitor, and here's my 227s. And this has got a 4K wallpaper of London set up, and what I can say is that the detail on this monitor is absolutely staggering. It just looks absolutely amazing. In addition to the physical hardware switch on the back, there is a standby switch here which is lit up by the blue LED. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. The 5th button is the standby button. When you press these, it brings up your OSD. The first button is a selection of profiles, which basically change the brightness and the color and stuff like that, depending on what you want. The second button is for brightness. The third button is for off, normal, and extreme. Extreme what? I've got no idea. Fourth button is for actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's actually 6 buttons. And then you have stuff like color management. Oh, 1 second, I'll put that back on. You have color management, resolution, and refresh rate and stuff like that. You can set if you click on refresh rate bar, you can turn it, you can set it to be either 4 pixels wide or 8 pixels wide, or off. Now what happens on the other side of the monitor is that if you have it on 4 pixels, it has a bar there, or 8 pixels, it doubles in width, and that bar fluctuates depending on obviously the frame rate of the monitor. So apart from that, and obviously the little stickers on the front and stuff like that, that's pretty much it from kind of like a feature perspective. The bezel on it is fairly thin. Because I've got 3 monitors, I have the bezels overlapping. There's very, very little backlight bleed. There's a tiny bit of backlight bleed from this side on this particular panel that I got, but it's barely noticeable. And I can see on this video here that you can see kind of like a white glow coming from this side, but this is actually this monitor. Just as an example, if I turn this side monitor off, then yeah, that isn't, and the same from above, that isn't backlight bleed. Although there is a very, very small amount of backlight bleed there. So for those of you who wanted to know what a 4K monitor actually looks like in terms of using it, here is the answer. As you can see, everything is rather small, and yeah, you've got a ton of screen real estate here. One thing I have found is that on the Windows 8 menu, this text is very, very small. You can make this better by right-clicking on the desktop, going to Personalize. You can click on Display, and then here you have things like text sizes, which you can use to make windows and things like that very, well, much bigger. You can choose just the text of all things, or you can scale everything. Screen resolution wise, the resolution is 3840 by 2160. For comparison, these 2 monitors on the outside are 27-inch 1440p Quad HD monitors. So it just goes to show you how big 4K is in comparison. One other thing, for those people who want to utilize G-SYNC on this monitor, you will need to right click, go to the NVIDIA control panel. You will need to click on Setup G-SYNC on the left, and then here, I'm actually just going to use the magnifier tool. Whoop. Yeah, Mr. Magnifier tool. That's a bit of a pain in the arse. How do you zoom out now? There we go. Zoom in, zoom out. So yeah, I'm not going to use that magnifier anymore, considering I nearly broke the stream there. So yeah, you open up the NVIDIA control panel, left click on Setup G-SYNC in the left hand menu, and then you have to say Enable G-SYNC here. What you need to ensure is that your primary monitor is the main display, like your G-SYNC monitor is the primary display, and you have to make sure that your game is running in full screen mode. So when you go back to manage 3D settings, when you scroll to the bottom of this list, vertical sync is set to G-Sync. So that's fairly important, right? Let's try a couple of applications that people use. Let's try Photoshop. I'm just going to move my head out of the way for the minute. So as you can see, Photoshop is very, very, very detailed. I know this stream is 1080p. Well, this YouTube video is 1080p, but obviously I have this monitor in 4K, so it's downscaled, which is why everything's so hard for you to read, probably impossible to read. So this is a 1080p wallpaper. So as you can see, it takes up exactly 1/4 of the screen. You can kind of zoom in and draw and things like that. Yeah, it's times like this where it all looks very, very pin sharp. It's rather nice, to be honest. It's nice to be able to work in so much detail. The monitor, to visually look at the monitor, colors on this panel are very nice. The other two monitors that I have on the outsides, they're Dell 27HM, 27 something HM. I know it's the HM model, so it's still decent enough monitors. So yeah, that's Photoshop. You might struggle reading some of these things, but what you can do is you can snap these off and have them on one of the 1440p monitors on the outside, so you kind of like it's slightly bigger. And then it just means you can stick to editing in the middle. Let's have a look at Sony Vegas Pro. Get rid of my face again. So again, Sony Vegas Pro. I'm just gonna quickly open a project. What have I got? Morph suit. This is the project that I made for my how to remove a morph suit logo. And as you can see, we've got absolutely tons of screen real estate here. In fact, if this was a 1080p video, you could pretty much preview the video here. What's going on, everybody? Big C902. You could pretty much preview this in full glorious resolution, and still have loads of room for your various tracks underneath. So yeah, and just in general, it's so, I mean, this here is a 1080p image, but it's just like absolutely pin sharp. Wonderful. One other thing that I should probably mention, is that earlier on in the video I showed you the OSD when I was looking at the buttons on the bottom of the monitor, and there was one that was kind of like a monitor overclocking option that had off, normal, and extreme. I put it on extreme, and I never really noticed any difference because I just kind of got used to it. And I was playing Minecraft, of all games to play on a 4K monitor with 3 Titans. I was playing Minecraft, and I noticed that everything was ghosting really badly. And I actually thought it was a fault with the monitor, but after quickly turning that from extreme to normal, it was literally the extreme setting. So I'm not kind of sure what that extreme setting does. Incidentally, when I turned it off, it kind of made like almost like a motion blur effect. So yeah, I think for people getting this monitor, I would definitely just keep that to normal. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. This is the Acer 4K 2K UHD monitor. Unboxed it, give it a quick run through. Games seem fairly easy going. Mind you, I'm playing on 3 Titans, so I can pretty much run anything. One thing I would suggest doing is, if you are gaming on this monitor, turn anti-aliasing off in your games, because you don't need it. If you turn anti-aliasing off, you get a lot more power, GPU power that can be applied to the game, rather than anti-aliasing something that you can't even see at 4K anyway. So, yep, well, that's all from me. Don't forget, people, if you like this video, please press like, comment, subscribe. If you've got anything to ask, if you want to tell me how shit and shaky my hands are and how poor the video quality is, feel free to do so in the comments below. And I shall see you guys next time.